and you how to treat yourself. I'm wearing my perfections. It's taking my fancy. I can't hear you. Stop for a moment. I get wild. With your conscience, you with your mind. Lord, you feel that. You can't avoid it. I'm your life. Kit Kat.
What on earth? Good morning, everyone. Sorry about that. I had the video muted. Ghost One, you want to come on? Special guest this morning. It is a beautiful morning.
Hello guys, good morning. It's Purple Cat. Bear with me. I'm really tired.
It's been a while. You guys, we got some news and some things to talk about and things I discussed in my last video yesterday that we'll be picking up on, things that we're not thrilled about and things that we've always kind of known about, you know? So the first one is new. This just came out this morning. Is America's breadbasket at risk for drought conditions rapidly spread? Wow.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Let's see here. Prophecy News Watch. Every time I write about this, fair use, Title 107, by the way, every time I write about this, conditions are even worse. If you look at the latest map from the U.S. Drought Monitor, you will see that almost all of America's hardland is now in some state of drought. Much of Kansas is dealing with either severe or seasonal droughts. In previous articles, I've written about how much it will impact the winter and wheat harvest. But now areas that grow most of the corn and soy are getting absolutely hurt. Okay, let's stop right here for a minute. Ghost Woman, you know this as well as I did. I did a gematria deciphering that led into the 2024 election, and I explained everything, and I sat there and said that these things were going to increase and get worse because this is a part of an agenda, and they harvest energy out of the things that they do, whether it's burning crops, burning forests, blowing up train derailments, execution on someone, suicides, wars,
I know what you're talking about, those days.
whatever crisis they can use and create.
Exactly. There's gonna come a day where there's flat out no food anywhere.
No, it's going to be like $100 for a loaf of bread. I mean, we're getting to those points. And all people seem to be worried about is that stuff that you got up on your wall over there. It's a big fat lie. I agree with it.
It really is. I am tired of it being rubbed in
We're
my
worried about
face.
our own rights and gender equality and racial equality. Oh, guys, all of this is man-made. It's all made up. And guess what? None of that is going to matter when this country falls because none of your rights are going to mean shit to anyone. No offense. I'm not trying to shove this down people's throats or be disrespectful, but when we get into this, we ain't trying to discourage no one here, man. But I've been trying to warn about this for a while. She's made videos in the past, and so have I, on this coming thing that this was gonna, and I knew this was gonna happen. I wasn't surprised.
I'm not surprised
One
anymore.
bit. I saw how COVID people reacted during COVID.
Yeah, we don't even go there.
Fair use. Much of Kansas is dealing with severe exceptional droughts in previous articles. Yes. Now areas of most are, yes, where iron and corn are. Guys, we're going to stop right here and we're going to get into the Greek mythology part of this. I explained that the pandemic treaty and that the globalists who are using this and the things that are behind the scenes on this, I don't even have to look at this. I will guarantee if I was to type this in right now, it would come up something like 46 or 88. We'll see. Let's see what happens. Give me a minute. So I'm not just lying through my teeth here. Severe drought in the U.S. Okay, so now I go like this.
I was gonna say the good part is it's cooler today.
Say what?
The weather's supposed to be cooler until it gets hot.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely cooler. Sorry, I couldn't hear you for a minute, Ghost Woman.
Space.
So, there's so much here, guys. You're not gonna believe this. Guess what number comes up for the severe drought? That I believe that they're using man-made weapons here, or weapons that they've been given. Okay, so the gematria has given me 1946 as the influenza pandemic, as it caused that, 1786, which is after the bubonic plague, 1578, 1662, 2725, I believe that's BC, 119, 86, 11111. The one that really got me was the one I think it was the 137. Yeah. That's the one that really got me. The one that stuck out the most.
Oh boy.
Well, Yeah, I gotta check out 137 real quick. So, it says cooperation and coexistence. Oh, jeez. You got tolerance on here, creative self-expression, independence, self-reliance, coexistence, cooperation, introspection. Yeah, these are all things that people are going to lack. People are definitely going to lack self-reliance, coexistence, creative self-expression. Definitely going to lack tolerance and cooperation. Nobody's going to cooperate with the government in these times, man. No way. Okay, so it says if this drought is in America's breadbasket continues through the summer, we are going to have a very serious problem on our hands. At this point, farmers are all over the middle of the country are praying for rain. Do you guys remember in the Bible when Elijah was told by God that it wasn't going to rain for 7 months and people died? We're talking like thousands of people.
I remember that.
We just never learn, man. We as sinners, we never learn.
No, we don't.
We just go after the things we love, the things that have no meaning and no value, that hold no purpose. And to be openly honest, I should probably say it here while everybody on the stream is watching. I don't care about any of this stuff, to be honest. I really don't. I just don't give a shit about any of it. Any of the stuff that I'm wearing too. I don't care about none of it. It's all meaningless. So it can be taken away in a split second, man, and it will.
Exactly.
I think what people are missing the point is that we've become so nutrient to the things that we desire and the things that we lack.
I was gonna also say too comfortable.
You want to say something? Go ahead.
Say we're way too comfortable where we are with these temporary.
Too comfortable in where we are. The United States and the American dream is a distraction to get you away from the things of God. That's the whole purpose.
I mean, guilty of that myself.
At this point, we all are. Well, those who are not obeying him, obviously. At this point, farmers all over the Middle East country are praying for rain because now things are looking not good. Below average rainfall and high winds are exacerbated drought conditions. They're doing this on purpose. I told you they control the weather, dude, way past the point of heart. I think Tommy's right. I think they're going to use these crises to continue to control people and to get people self-reliant on government. So you figure if you ain't got no rain going on, they're going to control the weather and they're going to control the rain to where it doesn't happen. They did this in Europe. They want to drive the crops. Yeah. So they can be like, oh boy, we have the solution. I think we have the solution. They want to reset the way I remember. They want to reset our way of eating. Why do you think they burned down all the food distribution centers and then made it look like an accident and said they were just accidental? No, they weren't. Get the fuck out of here. You don't just randomly blow up food plants and then sit there and say it was an accident. Come on.
Not an accident. What a crap.
Concerns about the dry start the start to the U.S. Summer crop season and potential harvest shortfalls have sent corn and soybean prices soaring. I believe that woman on YouTube who's heard from Christ, I believe we're right. I believe we're right where we need to be, and I think she's right. And if she's hearing from God and there's supposed to be riots during the November of this year, I'm starting to see why. Because if food prices get so bad, guys, and people can't pay for their addiction's going to come through. People's hunger, people can't control themselves. People's rage and anger is going to come through. The demons are going to start taking over people.
And worse.
So it says multi-mouth highs, although both crops can still be rebuilt with many timely rains. The last time I wrote about this, a little more than a third of the U.S.'s corn was being grown in areas affected by drought. Now 64% of our corn and 50% of the soy is being grown in areas that are affected by drought. What the fuck? Drought continues to be a major story for farmers this year, and the data shows drought conditions are deepening. They're doing this purposely. It's all part of the plan to push people into accepting the one world religion and the climate change agenda. This is all being done, and this is all being done. This is not a coincidence. This is all engineered. They're all doing this on purpose. All, but it's not by mistake. They're doing it. They are doing it purposely, and they're not even hiding it either. They're talking about what they're going to do. He told you what he was going to do. Klaus Schwab.
Yep.
Why would they hide it? It's right in front of our damn face.
Exactly.
In other words, conditions are deteriorating very rapidly. According to the latest report, only 55% of the U.S. corn is rated good to excellent. The last time we witnessed such a low level was in 1992. Wow. Oh, man. Naturally, the USDA and NSS says that 55% of the corn crop is good and excellent. Lansing NSS crops branch chief says that there are only 2 years in history where condition ratings have been lower for this week. 1992, with 50% of the crop was rated good and excellent. 1988 was a 30% of good and excellent rating. Jeez.
Oh, wow.
It's been more than 3 decades since we've seen anything like this. Yeah. And in the key corn producing, there, like I said, it's all part of it. It's controlling the agriculture.
Yep,
He's the god. Remember, Saturn is the god of agriculture, wealth, and liberation, slavery, murder, imprisonment. They want to control you. They want to control every aspect of your life. They want to provide for you and what they think you should eat, what they think you should do, where you should go. They want to control you like a hamster. You know, I got to tell you guys something that's very terrifying. God showed me a vision of something that I did when I was a kid just now, and it was very freaky, and I thought about it. He showed me this back a while back. I had a hamster in this cage, and every time the hamster couldn't breathe and it tried to get out, I would lock it in the cage and continue as if we continue to go. And eventually I killed the hamster over time. Guys, my point of what that whole purpose of that is, I'm the government and the hamster is us. When I suffocated the hamster, that was supposed to be humanity being killed off by the government by calling people conspiracy theories who speak out on the truth, by calling people out who speak up against these things and silencing them. It's a way of silencing truth seekers, shutting them down to where they cannot speak. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let that happen.
Yeah, it's being shutting down for expressing your feelings too.
It's a war on the things we cannot see. That's the part that people don't get. It's already here, guys. The digital passports, everything. They have it all lined up. They're getting it ready. It's going to be ready very soon.
Yeah. And of course, I'm not.
You guys all may think we're crazy and we're just talking nonsense, but we'll see about that when it actually happens. You guys won't be saying it then. It's going to happen, and they're talking about it. They've talked about it in the meeting. We're going to talk about this article that I brought up. I brought it up yesterday. It was about Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann going to Geneva, Switzerland to listen to the world leaders talk about how they want to implement digital passports, digital IDs. They want to shrink your bank account to where they can control over every aspect of it using digital. They want to get rid of cash, which we're already starting to see. No Bitcoin. They'll have complete control over everything that you do and everything that you own, everything that you need. I'm gonna quote some lyrics from a song that was absolutely scary, but it really like refutes the times that we're living in. I think when people listen to heavy metal music back in the day, I don't think they were listening to the lyrics of what people were actually. I think it was a warning, and I think it was telling people to stay the hell awake, keep your eyes open. Conditions have been particularly poor in Illinois and other states. You get the point, guys. This is going to get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're gonna go up to the digital passport thing, wherever it is, right here. Harbinger Dailies, powerful people worldwide have been advocating for global government. Global digital passports hold grave implications for Americans and the world. I read this, but I didn't really go into detail on it.
Continue those things.
Certain powerful people advocating for global government. Such governance would allow for a small group of individuals to control the entire planet, and world domination has long been their goal for deposits and dictators throughout human history. Today, we are seeing the global government being ushered in right before our eyes. Any questions before we go into this topic, Ghost Woman?
No, all I can say is I am not excited to get controlled.
Who is? Who is, really? To help us understand the shifting political landscape, I sought on a very special guest who had just returned from the World Health Organization in Geneva, Switzerland. Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann served as a number of years in the U.S. House of Representatives before running for president of the United States. She continued to serve in the Dean at Robertson School for Government, remains a strong voice for conservative and Christian principles here in America and around the world. Congresswoman, please tell us what you experienced when you traveled to Geneva, Switzerland to join the audience listening to all the plans being presented by the World Health Organization, guys. They work with the World Economic Forum and the UN. UN is signing this 7-year deal. And what was King Charles going to do? He is going to propose what type of, it's the things that your mom always uses to talk about things in your life. It starts with a G, you know, OALS, goals. They have several goals that they have for the 7 years that they have implemented.
Now that you need those days.
Yes. So Michelle Bachmann went on to say, I went to Geneva for a purpose of watching and observing to seeing what the World Health Organization is presenting. They weren't shy nor reluctant to telling us exactly what their plans have been proceeding. What was very sad to me is that there wasn't one member of the U.S. House of Representatives there attending this meeting, not one. There wasn't a member of the United States Senate who was there. Politicians managed to fly their airplanes to attend the World Economic Forum meetings, but they didn't attend the important meeting. Because it's all about the Green New Deal, sustainable development, global change. They want to rebuild everything. They want to drive people out of their houses, and the people that don't have the money to be able to afford what the wealthy are offering, by even the middle class. It's a shame for a meeting presented for such profound consequences for every person on Earth, because this plan envisions every single person coming under the dominion and control of the World Health Organization. Just 1 week after the World Health Organization assembly concluded, they dropped an absolute bombshell. A press letter went out and claimed that the European Union has already developed a global digital passport. Guess who's working with this? Melinda and Bill Gates. That would regulate the health status and the ability for people to take transportation. And Yuval Noah Harari is another person involved in this. This global digital passport, which essentially would be a scannable QR code. Do you remember when I drew the Nazi symbol on there and that's what it came out as? It was a swastika. It's not a joke, guys. I actually still have that somewhere. I'll find it and show. I'll post it on there. The QR code issued by a mobile phone would reveal the individual is in compliance with the mandates of the World Health Organization, so has the permission to be able to travel and have the freedom to move about. See, I posted this on Instagram in the past and nobody seemed to react. It's like everybody's just asleep and they're on this channel. They don't see what's going on. My family alone, people and just sleep, dude, just cuckoo.
I don't understand.
No, you guys need to get your brains examined. Everyone, all of us. This isn't a joke, man. They're going to talk about hooking us up to a computer. They want to implement this control, this Neuralink deep mind. It's making us less human and more robotic.
Like, no. I don't want that in my brain. Like, not okay with that.
At that point, it will become mandatory for whatever he requests in the tribulation. Do you understand that? During the middle of the tribulation, when he sets himself up to be worshipped, he'll implement whatever he needs for people to be a part of him. But mainly, the mandatory thing is going to be the mark. So the World Health Organization didn't wait to pass these amendments or seek global treaty. There's that treaty. I looked that up. What was the numbers for that? 37, 44, 30. Okay. What's really creepy about that is I found that in just the recent gematria that I just recently did, guys, which is very disturbing. Okay, because it says right here 137. Okay, you get 99, 33 is in here, and what's really disturbing about that is the number 40 and 33 is actually right where it needs to be. Here's what I found even more disturbing, guys. Did you know in February of the 6th of 2023, Biden actually signed this pandemic treaty around that time, and this is around the time that this drought comes up to 263 2023. That's when all these things started happening. 963. That's really creepy. October 6th, 2023, something's about to happen during that time too. Then you have October 7th, 1977, it looks like. I'm going to look at that real quick. Find out why that's so important. October 7th. Really? Why does that sound so familiar? USSR's adoption for the Soviet Constitution. Soviet Union. Oh, the Zodiac events were happening around that time. This guy supposedly did you guys ever notice the stuff that he wore? It was like very Illuminati-ish. He wore a target symbol, and you see that in some of the Illuminati's descriptions. The Zodiac, if you guys understand the symbolism of the Zodiac, it's a symbolism of a birth sign. Okay. He always quoted the most dangerous game, which is a symbolization to what happens in the tribulation when they go after to hunt men for sport, and they'll do it for fun. They'll go after those who reject Christ.
Yep, exactly.
Or excuse me. They'll go after those who accept Christ. I'm sorry. Yeah, it says the fourth Soviet Constitution was going on during this time, and you had the Zodiac murderings that were going on in 1977. I remember that. I believe it was Star Wars was coming out at that time.
Oh yeah, Star Wars.
Yeah. Weird. The symbol for this at this time for October 7th, 1977 was the Libra.
Oh, wow.
Did you guys know that Jesus was actually, here's what's really disturbing about this. What I find odd about this, the drought here, is that there was a drought that happened after Jesus died on the cross. And Jesus supposedly was killed during the month of October. And this was October 22nd. So like babies born in October, he was born in March though, okay? But the point of what I'm trying to say is he was killed during this time. And he was killed on the cross that represents Samaramis. Roman cross, and they worship Semiramis because it goes back to that pagan mythology. Okay, so and what's really odd, and I find what's really odd about this, guys, is that it's the moon sign. Okay, fire, symbol like snake, like this. This is like the serpent, the snake, like the snake that tempted Eve. So that's the fire and the snake. So fire can symbolize the phoenix event that's coming up. And the snake can symbolize what? A fiery serpent, like the ones that bit the people in Numbers. So what does it tell me? It makes me think of the World Health Organization, the fiery serpent that was wrapped around the cross or around the staff that goes up across. You know, the Moses' pole? Yes. What's really odd about that is it's true. Look at this, guys. Can you even see that? Man, can my screen be any brighter? Whatever.
I was gonna say,
It's a red serpent. It's a red fiery snake. And what I find odd about that is the fact that that comes up as that year. The other one I want to see is the 1578. In 1578, the Ottoman Empire conquers Abashkia. The Sarsia Danjul Empire, Emperor of Ethiopia, defeats and kills Bar Angus. Wow. You guys know that Ethiopia is Kush? They end up joining alliance with Iran. The Ottoman Empire is Turkey, guys. So that's Ezekiel 38 right there. So this is symbolizing backwards, though. Wow. The other one I want to do is 1662. October 27th. I find that so odd. Again, October. Here we go again. Charles II of England. Remember, we have King Charles III on the throne, right? This is King Charles II of England. English Royal Society holds its first meeting December 4th. I find that so odd. The banquets. So I find it weird because this is right after September. The meetings are going to be held in September for the Feast of Trumpets. Okay. And what's odd is that Charles is going to be doing the 7-year deal during the time when this is happening, and he's going to be making the decisions. And it's really odd because it says November and December, but on the thing it says it's going to be held in November. So why would they say September? It's really odd.
That is really odd.
Yeah. So the number 86 is on here too. We'll find out what that means. This is all, I believe this is all tied into the pandemic treaty and COP28, because all of this is tied in. Okay, they're using the weather control to control crises so that they can create chaos and order out of it.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you mean. Justice.
Okay, so it says numerology 86 is a realism number of expressed curiosity and personal sense of freedom. What? Personal freedom. Freedom, person being, going and coming. Equality. Means you'll have your own rights. You won't have rights. That's what people don't understand. Like that BS back there behind you. Nobody seems to understand if the rights go out the window and there's no constitution, you have no rights in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Curiosity, realism, balance, idealism, those things are gone, man.
Really to go space.
Sorry. You want to know what happened in 1946, guys? World War II ended.
Oh wow.
Really odd. Are we on the verge of like seeing World War III? It says 1946 major news stories and United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund established. Why would they need that? War crimes tribunal Newark. War crimes trials held in Tokyo. AT&T announced first car phones. Wow. United Nations first meeting for baby boomers years. There was an earthquake that happened.
There was a tornado in Indiana recently.
First meeting held with the United Nations, Methodist Central Westminster in London. That was the start of something that continues now. January 17th, the United Nations Security Council holds its first season, the Church House in Westminster in London. See, this is all foreshadowing to what Charles is doing now.
Yeah, but really to go space.
And then you have 1786. What didn't something that was right after the Revolutionary War. That is odd because it rhymes right up to my wow.
Oh wow.
I'm giving you the dates. A violent insurrection in Massachusetts countryside during 1786-70. Sherry's rebellion was sought. Wow. 13 states. Convention is held with delegates from 6 states: Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, and New Mexico. What the heck? New Jersey, sorry. Wow. That's wild. There's this one right here, too. (297 BC). Wow. You want to know who was ruling at that time? It was right before Christ. 297 BC, 100s, right before Christ.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I thought. 6 to 4 BC. Might have been 7 BC too. We don't know. This is way before. The Samnite War, Greece. So this is about the Roman Republic. India. Wow. King Khazar and Macron, one of the successors and Maccabean generals who have fought over the empire of Alexander the Great after his death. So the Emperor of Maurya Empire in India. So India had an empire as well. And we're seeing the rise of that empire today. It's joining with China, though. That's why. Following Caesar's death from illness, Philip IV, Philip VI, Cassander's eldest son, succeeds his father, King Maccabean, but soon after the coming throne, suffers from wasting disease and dies. Man, killed them like crazy, and the next son rules. So they were dying from diseases. These are the emperors. Here we go. During the early empire, 55.6% of the empires died from natural causes or illnesses. Wow. Isn't that crazy? Because that's what people supposedly get sick and die from in the tribulation, when the Antichrist starts persecuting people and the wrath of God from the bulls falls on people who have taken the mark of the beast. It says their tongues and their eyes are missing, right? So they have a serious illness, boils. The second group was more murdered and executed, and more died in battlefield. So then there's one that killed himself. Nero. So Nero, Claudius, Caesar, Augustus, Domitius. A rebellion broke out in Gaul, followed by a more serious challenge to Nero's power, and Servius Sulpicius Galbus, the Roman governor of Spain. The Senate turned against Nero, who fled to the country estate and killed himself. Sounds like Judas, right?
Yeah, it definitely does. Space.
And there have been 7 emperors, which is in Revelation 17, symbolizes the 7 heads, but it also symbolized 7 authorities and 7 kingdoms, or 7 kings. But it also resembles that we know that I believe 3 of those are gone, and then 3 are plucked out. So you have 10, but he's the 11th that surpasses the 10. Okay, so technically you have the 3, I believe, that actually, I believe one of them is Rome, the other one is Babylon. Okay, and then I think the other one is supposed to be Persia. So Rome, Babylon, Persia. Okay, Babylon, Persia, and no, Greece. So sorry, because Rome is already current existing. So Babylon, Persia, and Greece will be the 3 that are succeeded. Babylon will be gone. Or it could be very well possible that it could be Greece, Rome, and Persia. And then Babylon stays with the Antichrist because he rebuilds Babylon. So I believe Rome is destroyed again, Greece is destroyed again, and I believe that Persia will be destroyed again. Persia can also symbolize in the future, in Revelation 13 can symbolize Russia as well. So anyways, we'll probably make a part 2 on this later, guys. We're going to probably call it a morning. So anyway, shalom. Have a wonderful morning. Ghost Woman, do you want to add anything?
Well, I hope everyone has a good, rest that morning, and start their day. Stay safe. Enjoy if it's cooling down where you are, wherever you are, wherever you live. And I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Anytime, I'm going to catch up and sleep. Report you next time.
Yeah. Until then, take it easy. We'll leave this on to play for a little bit.
Yep.